We also began with about 8,000 companies. Now we have 28,000 companies. And we were asked to compress 14 pages of guidelines.
Bihar continues to receive a very small, less than even 1% of the total CSR expenditure.
Geographical imbalance. Even the base figure, which was so small, has actually decreased. Next 3 years will probably be Bihar's time.
Today, we are truly honored to have amongst us as our esteemed guest, Dr. Bhaskar Chatterjee, popularly known as the father of Indian CSR. In our conversation today, we'll discuss the growth of CSR in India and explore how it is going to benefit Bihar. A very warm welcome to you, sir, in CIMP as the Chief Advisor and the Professor of Practice for CSR and Sustainability.
Thank you, Madhurima. Such a delight and an absolute pleasure to be here with all of you at CIMP. I feel especially privileged to be engaged with an organization like this one. And I'm very happy to be here at this podcast and to participate in any discussion that we will take forward from here.
Before moving forward with our discussion, I would like to formally introduce Dr. Bhaskar Chatterjee. Although sir's name needs no formal introduction, still, for our viewers, I would like to share his brief, illustrious profile. Sir has served as Secretary to the Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises, Director General of Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, CEO of the Vedanta Group, and Senior Advisor to Deloitte India. Sir brings with him a wealth of experience and leadership in corporate governance, sustainability, and public policy. So you have been widely acclaimed, you are widely acclaimed as the father of Indian CSR. And as a person who has seen the entire trajectory of the CSR journey in India, and as the architect, I can say, of CSR policy in India, sir, can you paint a broad picture of where CSR in India stands today and how CSR in India has evolved over the last 12 years?
That's a very big question, Madhurima. It's one that needs some elaboration, but I'll try and summarize as best as I can. Strangely, the beginnings of CSR in India go back to before 2013. CSR actually, we say, began at home because we started with the public sector. And the first ever guidelines for public sector enterprises were issued on the 1st of April 2010, 4 years before we made it applicable to private organizations. Pretty much the guidelines that we had written for public sector enterprises were then condensed into Section 135. And because, as it happened coincidentally, the company's bill was also on the table at the time. In that company's bill, there are 470 sections. One section was given to us, Section 135.
Right.
And we were asked to compress 14 pages of guidelines into one section, which I think successfully we did. Since then, it's been a roller coaster ride. And we began with a first year spending of around 10,000 crores. Today, it is almost 36,000 crores. My team assures me that it is going to be 50,000 crores in the next 3 years, very quickly. So we also began with about 8,000 companies. Now we have 28,000 companies. We began with a few projects. Now we have 46,000 projects. So it's become what you might call a behemoth. And as I like to say, CSR today is a pillar of our economy. And I say this with some responsibility because it's not just about the corporate and the NGO, the corporate to fund and the NGO to implement. I say this also because the CSR ecosystem today involves a lot of stakeholders. There are whole communities who survive on CSR funding. There are people whose lives have completely transformed because of CSR interventions. The number of lives we have touched, aside of everything else, is incalculable. There are homes and hearths which actually function because CSR is there. Today at the professional level, CSR professionals work and in a space where they're proud to be CSR professionals. So the whole scenario today has evolved to a point where we are proud of what we did then and the way it has unrolled so far. It is my conviction that, which I had not envisaged when we wrote the law, that there would be so much of government backing for it. And it is amazing that not only did government at the central level back it, but so many state governments are now coming on board and supporting CSR right from the field level to the policy making level. So it is what you might call a reassertion of faith and belief that what came as an idea, as a concept, has now evolved into so much reality. And I think at the end of the day, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, that it has survived all of this. And mind you, Madhurima, I think another affirmation is that in the law, Section 135, 12 years of the law, not one word has changed.
That's a big achievement, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you very rightly said that from a very basic concept, it has turned into a big reality now from, I think, 26,000 companies to it has now...
No, we started with about 9,000
companies.
Now it's 28,000.
It's grown to 28,000 companies. That's really a marvelous achievement, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, as you very rightly said, CSR has bridged many development gaps and it has touched countless lives, countless hearts, as you've just pointed out. But then, sir, there's a very stark reality about CSR growth vis-a-vis Bihar. We have seen that Bihar continues to receive a very small share of the country's CSR investment, and it accounts to around less than even 1% of the total CSR expenditure. So, sir, in your view, what are the key reasons behind this disparity?
This is a very important question that you're asking, Madhurima. And we understand that there is a lot of geographical imbalance in the way that CSR spending has shaped up. The most developed states, tragically, are the ones who are receiving the most CSR funds. And the less developed states, particularly Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa, the whole of the Northeast, have been CSR spending deficient. Of course, Bihar is where it is. And strangely enough, the CSR spending in Bihar has actually decreased. Even the base figure, which was so small, has actually decreased in the last financial year. And the number of companies who are actually doing CSR in Bihar, that also has gone down. And this is a stark reality. But also let's understand that it's not just Bihar. All of the 8 sisters of the Northeast, 8 states, receive less than 2%. And this is an anomaly that I think needs some policy level intervention. But let me expand on that further. We have the state of Maharashtra, which is almost a third of the total spending of this country. Then you have Tamil Nadu, you have Gujarat. So the really advanced states are the ones which are getting the most CSR spending. Part of the reason for that is that the concentration of corporates are in these very states. And I think it's a natural human instinct that you try to spend closer to home, so that you can monitor the spending better, actually look after the project better. The Planning Commission right now, called the Niti Aayog, has identified these aspirational districts. And I know for a fact that for public sector enterprises, the Department of Public Sector Enterprises has asked PSEs to identify aspirational districts and spend in them. So the idea there is at the policy level to try and direct the spending to where it is needed most. And that, in a sense, is actually beginning to happen. What do states need to do? For example, the state of Bihar. It needs to ask itself, why is this happening? And this is not something that's happening today. A whole 10 or 12 years, we've been virtually at the bottom of the ladder. So introspection, I think, is really the name of the game. What can we do that other states have not done? And to my mind, actually speaking, what works is not mandation or a correction in the rules or regulations. What will really work is incentivization. Bihar was one of the first states which came up with a brilliant CSR policy. If you look at it from the technical standpoint, that particular policy is one of the best. What it does lack is that what is the incentive for a corporate to do CSR spending here in Bihar? Are there any specific monetary or financial benefits that we can provide to companies if they do CSR work here? And mind you, CSR work is basically development work. All the thematic areas of Schedule 7 are developmental in nature. So even if you do provide concessions to corporates, the money that comes in with CSR funding will actually contribute to the development of the state. And it is for that reason that some level of introspection, some tweaking of the policy would help Bihar a great deal.
Right. So it is really sad that the already advanced and developed states are receiving the CSR funding and Bihar is lagging behind in itself. So as you are fully aware, CIMP has started a Center for CSR and ESG Studies Foundation, and we are extremely grateful to you for guiding, mentoring and shaping this vision into reality, sir.
Thank you.
So sir, how do you see this? How can this center develop and can make a meaningful contribution towards strengthening Bihar's status in the CSR ecosystem? And secondly, sir, how can other institutions like CIMP play an important role in helping Bihar, in supporting Bihar to become a strong partner in India's CSR landscape?
Yes, we need to address this question front on. And I think CIMP is extremely well positioned to play that role. That is because, first of all, it is a government recognized and government instituted organization. So we have the strength and the backing of government. So that is a very important factor. But beyond that, I must congratulate the leadership of CIMP for bringing this particular center into being and having personnel that are extremely motivated, very devoted, and working round the clock to make sure that this is a success. Having come in, let me say that my role here would go perhaps beyond mentoring and beyond guiding. I'll try and do as much of hand-holding and real-time intervention as I can. I bring with me the experience of 12 years of national perspective on CSR. I've sat on countless committees, countless boards, countless juries. I've seen it all from day one till now. So given that background, I think, be able to contribute in terms of providing focus, direction, connections, advisory, and so on to this wonderful center that's been created. I also see that this particular center is at a certain inflection point. It's what I believe is a point of takeoff. The base has already been created. And now we're able to bring other stakeholders into the game. So whether it is UNICEF, whether it is Niti Aayog, whether it is high net worth individuals, whether it is larger corporates who can contribute more to the kitty, all of that will actually come together, coalesce into something that will strengthen the center. We need to ensure that at all times we try to underscore the fact that here in Bihar, how much of ease of CSR spending can we cultivate? Because in the normal course of things, we are not on the corporate radar so much. So one is to be able to also, and I think this is very important, we need to brand build the Bihar CSR scenario. We can build brand Bihar generally, and there are so many aspects of Bihar that need to be branded. But CSR to me is one thing that really needs to be positioned at the top. And one of the things that we're doing in CIMP is that we're trying to plan a flagship national CSR convention, which again, the leadership and we have decided today not to do in Patna. but to do it in Delhi so that we have the attention of the entire nation. And so, whereas this will be a national CSR convention, the focus will be on Bihar. And then what will happen is that those who are working in Bihar already will get a fillip as to how much their work is being recognized. One. Two, those who are not working will understand that, my God, there is an opportunity. We are seeing it actually. And all the power elite of Bihar will be present in that workshop. So it will be a great projection and a great platform. So these are some ideas that we are working on. And I'm sure that CIMP will be at the heart of all that happens in CSR in Bihar.
So we are also very optimistic. With your hand-holding and your support, I think CIMP will make a very meaningful contribution toward strengthening CSR in Bihar, sir. So there are many CSR practitioners who are already active in Bihar. They are working towards inclusive and sustainable development. So what are some of your motivational messages, sir, that you can convey to them in order to enable them to work better and to achieve better?
The most important message that I'd like to convey to them is that theirs is an involvement at whose heart lies true passion. If you are interested in this field for the upliftment of a backward state and its backward people, and your heart is in it, then you have to be passionate about what you are doing. It is true that some of the signals that are coming are not that positive. And we spoke about how the spending on CSR is not as high as it should be. But the more we believe and have faith in these practitioners, they should know, and this is my message to them, that the government of Bihar, institutions like CIMP, are working around the clock to ensure that CSR gets a major uplift in this state. They need to hear this, because it is that which will provide motivation. They shouldn't feel that they are alone in this journey or isolated in this journey. If we are going to make a difference, it has to be across the entire spectrum of CSR. And I think the state, the CIMP, and other important corporates are conscious of this and working for it. My own understanding is that next 3 years will probably be Bihar's time in the sun. We have a new government in place, a new commitment in place, a new development path in place, and we will strain every sinew and nerve to see that we get there. And among all of that we have spoken before, CIMP will play a bigger role in that. We will try and reach out to these practitioners, get them on board with us, and make sure that their enthusiasm always remains at a high.
So your message to them is that they should have their heart into it, into what they are doing. They should be passionate about their work, and they should have full faith in the government and government support for their upliftment.
And institutions of government like us in CIMP.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights and for sharing your experiences with us. And already your contribution towards the development of CSR policy in India has benefited many individuals, many institutions, many professionals who are working in the area of sustainable development. And it was a pleasure, sir, hearing to your insights, to your perspectives, and I hope many people here too will be benefited from it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madhurima. It was such a pleasure being with you.
Thank you, sir.
I wish you and the CIMP and the state of Bihar all the very best.
Thank you, sir.